Hello and welcome. I'm Damon Bruce. Good to have you along for the NBA here on 2K Sports. Thursday Hoops. It's Chris Bosh and the Miami Heat going up against the Dallas Mavericks. And now, here's my friend Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K crew. I'll check back with you at the break with the HP Halftime Report.
Yeah, how y'all feel? Cause I feel so awesome. How you feel? I guess that's awesome. You fine and your awesome. Wanna roll awesome. Let's go. Yeah, hands in the skyline. AWE. Some call me awesome. Some call me busy. Call me awesome. Gator on my shirt.
Two teams, two conferences. It's a road game for the Heat in this one. Kevin Harlan here alongside Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. 2K Sports welcomes you to our coverage of the NBA. So here's Miami's starting group. Wade and LeBron fill out the wings. Joel Anthony is out there with Chris Bosh, and it's Chalmers in at the 1 spot. And for Dallas, Dirk Nowitzki and Tyson Chandler in the middle. Rudy Fernandez out there with Jason Kidd, and it's Butler in at the 3, the small forward.
Well, Dallas may not be the toughest team defensively, but they're very smart. They do a nice job of avoiding fouls and keeping teams off the free throw line.
So Dallas will get the first possession. Back to Kidd. From deep three-point range. And it's D. Wade with the rebound. And Steve, you brought up the fouls. Part of it, Clark, is that they aren't overly aggressive on D, but another part is they're maybe too careful, too.
Yeah, you got to have the right mixture of aggressiveness and caution. You want to strike a balance there. Dallas isn't going to shut any team down with their D, but they're not giving games away either with silly fouls, and that's how you've got to approach it from their standpoint.
Chandler gets called for the reach. That's his first foul. Here's Chalmers. He's picked up by Kidd. Six on the shot clock. The kick out to LeBron. No good. Some solid defense from Butler.
And LeBron's numbers last season really slipped in the early part of the year as he tried to adapt to his new teammates and his new surroundings. But as the season went on, he became more and more effective. And that was one of the reasons he ended up with a career high in field goal percentage, right around 51% from the floor.
Earlier, Doris Burke spoke with head coach Eric Spoelstra. And what'd you find out, Doris?
Kevin, he told me that they'll be looking to keep things moving quickly on the offensive end in order to negate some of their opponent's shot blocking skills. He feels that if they can keep them on the move and off balance, they'll be able to keep their leapers from turning away shots. Guys? Wonderful,
Doris. Thanks for the report.
You know, that strong defense on the other side obviously has them a big concern.
Yeah, no question. And they're so good when you isolate, they're going to really close you down. So you've got to keep player movement, ball movement. Try to get that defense on the move. That's the only way you're going to get good shots against this team.
Jason Terry is checked in for Dallas. Wade outside. Here's Anthony. That falls. Nice feed that time from Dwayne Wade. And going back to what Steve was talking about with LeBron, if he's being more efficient, Clark, with the ball, I don't think he is too concerned with his numbers, with his totals.
Kevin, that's one of the beauties of LeBron James's game to me. He's interested in playing the game of basketball at the highest level. That means giving it to another player who's open. He's fine with that. If that means taking shots, he's fine with that. I love the fact that he's comfortable in who he is and is not worried about what other people think he should be doing.
Down low. It's tipped.
Boy, a lot of darkness there. No daylight to get that ball through.
And they're running. Here's Terry. Good in the assisted kid.
The easiest way to do it sometimes is with the bounce pass.
And Miami has possession. 4-point game. Here's LeBron. Now Kidd. Guys, this offense very effective.
Going right at him.
And this is where you just start picking apart the defense, and now you take their confidence away. You can really take control of this game. Now, Miami had such a turbulent season last year as far as the drama that surrounded that team. But they were consistent and steady on the road, and they ended up with the best away record in the Eastern Conference.
And Miami calls their first time out of the game. And back to Miami, you know, Clark, road trips aren't easy when you're the villains of the NBA, and there's no doubt that wanted poster in the NBA has got a picture of that Miami threesome up there.
I agree, no doubt about it, but I think that also helped them come together. You know, teams typically do a good job of bonding when they're on the road. That us against them mentality, nobody for you, and quite honestly, really good teams and players enjoy winning on the road more than they do even winning at home.
Looking at who's out there now for the Mavericks. Marion comes in for Caron Butler. And Barea subbed in for Jason Kidd. Terry against Wade. Here's Bosch. That falls. Nice feed that time from Dwayne Wade.
That time he found a gap in the defense to turn that one into a very easy jump shot, a warm-up jumper, if you will.
Nowitzki for three. Good. Nowitzki's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball.
Boy, it's been a hot shooting first quarter for them so far.
Steve, it's been fun to watch. I mean, the shots are dropping, and it's led to an excellent start. You know, he's definitely a catalyst for their offense, guys. I mean, he is so talented. He really causes problems for the other team's defense.
And, guys, an interesting offseason for LeBron James after he made that move to Miami. A lot of people questioned his competitiveness once he decided to join forces with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh.
Wade, no good. Now the Mavericks take it the other way. Now the Mavericks with it. They're on a 16-6 run. Nowitzki for three, and it's Miami with the rebound. You know, back to what Steve said about, and the jam by LeBron. And now, here's the Sprite Slam Cam replay.
Yes, indeedy. Boy, I love that one. That's not just any plain dunk. That has some panache to it.
That's an energizer, guys. That is an energizer.
That is, and that will lift the whole team up.
Chandler down low. He's covered by Bosch. Marion kicks to Barea from past the arc. And it's Haslam with the rebound. They have a chance to go 2 for 1 here.
Let's see how they play the clock.
And here's LeBron outside. Can't get it to go. And Dallas the other way. 4 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Good look. And James pulls it down.
I thought that one was going to go.
You know, Steve, most of the time it does go.
And look at how quickly he got his hands in the way of that pass.
And Marion gets it to go.
They built an early lead here, really pushing ahead.
Well, they got a huge advantage, points in the paint, Steve, and they're attacking early, so taking advantage of scoring in close.
And they're scoring pretty well as we conclude the first quarter. Mavericks lead by 7.
Really good sign offensively the way they started this game out, getting a lot of hoops from close range.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to get baskets inside. I know you were a three-point shooter, Steve, and a really good one, but it's always easier to score in the paint.
Don't go away. Back in just a moment. And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. Here's Chalmers. So with Bosch on the bench, this is who Eric Spoelstra has on the floor. Chalmers is out there with Mike Miller. Then there's Joel Anthony. Then there's Haslam. And it's LeBron in at the small forward position. Here's Miller. They trail by 7. Knocked away.
Excellent steal that time. Pesky defensive play on his part.
Takes it up. He feeds it to Fernandez. Beyond the arc. Rebounded by Anthony.
You know, you take a look at the makeup of the Heat and the offensive numbers last year. Not a ton of assists, with a lot of free throw attempts, FTAs we call them. Seemed like they just played to their strengths, and a lot of that was isolating their star players.
From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Kevin, when LeBron James joined Dwayne Wade in Miami, some were concerned about whether there'd be enough shots to keep both happy. What folks didn't realize is that LeBron has always preferred to be more of a playmaker than primary scorer. He grew up admiring Magic Johnson, and that was the role he wanted. In Miami, with his offensively talented running mates, his great vision and basketball IQ is more valuable than ever, and he can focus on his all-around game rather than carrying an offense. Guys?
Always good to spread the load. Thanks, Doris.
And I think that enabled James to excel defensively.
And that's the thing with LeBron. I mean, he's one of those do-it-all superstars. Even if he doesn't score every point, I mean, he can impact the game in every facet. He knows how to get to the basket, guys, especially when the defense is soft like it was there.
Clark, you mentioned that stat about the Heat. Steve, surprising they didn't have more assists.
Well, they didn't have a true point guard running things. Mike Bibby was more of a jump shooter, same with Chalmers. But I think a lot of it is that they play very isolation-heavy basketball, as Clark mentioned.
LeBron, that's a two-pointer. Offensive rebound. Here's Haslam. And the first one drops.
Boy, isn't it good to see Udonis Haslam back and healthy after missing most of last season with a foot injury. He's a guy who's really been the heart and soul of this Miami ball club over the years.
Dirk Nowitzki, he's checked in for Sean Marion. And a switch here also for Miami. Dwayne Wade's checked in for LeBron. He hits both from the stripe. Here is Kidd. Still looking to get on the scoreboard. It's Rudy Fernandez on the wing. From outside, off the mark. Steve Udonis Haslam, when he re-signed with the Heat prior to last season, he could have gotten a lot more money elsewhere. But, Clark, he wanted to remain in Miami. And I'm sure he is thanking his lucky stars that decision was made.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, he and Dwayne Wade extremely close, and Haslam just kind of felt like he had a chance to stay in a place that he considered home and would be able to do great things. Credit him for picking happiness and contentment over dollar signs. Sometimes that's the best call, but you don't often see guys make it.
Here. Haslam, a screen on Kidd. It's Miller on the wing. The three. Kidd against Wade. He's covered by Kidd. Kidd is whistled for reaching in. That is his first foul of the game.
You look at the stops in Carlisle's coaching career, guys. I mean, almost every year he's good for 50-plus wins, no matter who he's coaching, but never able to get the team all the way to the top until last season. You can't help but be happy for him.
Catching up on the changes for Dallas. Tyson Chandler is checked in for Hayward. Marion comes in for Dirk Nowitzki. And it's Terrian for Rudy Fernandez. And he can't get the first one. And he's good on the second.
They've done a good job of seeking contact here in the second.
And getting whistles as a result. The aggressive team usually gets the benefit of the doubt, Clark, and that's what's happening right now. Call back to Rick Carlisle for a moment. It's funny because he had trouble finishing off strong seasons just like the Mavs, but they were able to accomplish their goals when they got together and brought home the title to Dallas.
Here's Kidd, and Dallas again with the bucket.
Beautiful offensive execution, and they're starting to extend this lead.
And they could run away with it if they get hot at the right time here.
And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, over to you.
Hey, Kevin. Well, one of the things the Heat had to overcome early last season was their fear of stepping on each other's toes early. There was a turning point that helped them get by that and put it behind them. LeBron James saying of Dwayne Wade, he stopped trying to figure out if it's his time or my time. Instead, we just played our games, and the results were pretty good. Guys, hard to argue with that logic.
All right, Doris.
When you gather stars like that, they'll take some time figuring each other out. Chemistry just doesn't happen overnight.
Well, and eventually they had a terrific year. Didn't quite take it all the way, but got to the finals, and now I think the table is set for Miami to be a contender for years to come.
Here is Berea. There's 1:26 left to play here in the half. Here's Brewer. Rebounded by Anthony. Anthony's got his 4th rebound in this one.
Dallas really played a lot of zone defense last year, and I thought it worked out well for them, especially with the personnel they brought in. Tyson Chandler manning the paint really helped that club.
Boy, that was a tremendous rebound for a pint-sized fella. That's how tough he is. Not intimidated at all in the paint.
Chandler is tagged with the reach. So that will be his 2nd foul of the game. We're in the bonus, and we'll go to the line to shoot 2. The first free throw is good. Steve, back to Dallas. Sometimes a team needs to find an identity on defense, and they found that last year with the zone. That was a little clever trick, Clark Kellogg, that Rick Carlisle, the coach of the Mavs, inserted in that team.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the zone, it fit their personnel. You can't overlook the impact that Tyson Chandler has had on their defensive disposition. They have guys that have length that can cause problems in the passing lane. So the zone defense just made some sense.
Knocked loose. It's stolen by Haslam. The finish. And finished off by LeBron.
Well, that's great. You take advantage of that turnover and convert at the other end.
Absolutely. I mean, points off turnovers this time generated off the steal.
Here's Terry. It's a 2-point differential. Berea kicks to Terry. Will it go? Another shot. Here's Chandler. Goes up and lays it nice and easy. Chandler's got 6 points.
Got to be very careful with this team. They can be really strong inside if they get good position.
Well, you give up that kind of deep position, Steve, you're done. It's over.
And here's LeBron outside. That's good, and so Chalmers with the assist. Chalmers has got 3 assists now in this one. Back to Terry. Just 5 on the clock. 3-pointer. Can't hit.
You could see it in his eyes. It became mano-a-mano. He wanted to return the favor with that 3, but just didn't get it to go.
The Mavericks on top. They're up by 1.
Thanks for joining us for HP at the half with a terrific game going on at American Airlines Center. It's a close game for the Mavericks going up against the Miami Heat. Defensively, they're aggressive, taking every opportunity to force a turnover. An impressive first half for Dirk Nowitzki. He's up to 9 points and also sharing it around with a few assists. Also, Miami looking good in the first half. They played gritty D and have been hauling in the defensive rebounds. A sensational first half for LeBron. He scored 16 points and also been chipping in on the glass, hauling in a few rebounds. And now a look at the players topping their teams in scoring. We'll see if they can keep this pace up. And now let's get the second half rolling. Here's Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke.
Welcome back, everyone, to the picturesque American Airlines Center here in beautiful Dallas as we resume action. Here's Chalmers. Dirk Nowitzki and Tyson Chandler in the middle. Jason Kidd is out there with Rudy Fernandez. And it's Butler in at the 3. That's the lineup in the game for Dallas. No good from Wade.
I think he caught a glimpse of the defender out of the corner of his eye because he just seemed to lose his focus there for a moment. You know, guys, I'm pretty sure when everybody else leaves the gym and goes home, Dirk Nowitzki just sneaks back into the gym and kind of hangs out at that foul line area. He's so comfortable at the elbow and at that high post area. He just shoots right over the top of everybody. It looks like a layup for him.
Butler gets the reach-in call. That's his third foul of the game.
That's his third person. The team's first.
Here's Wade. Caron Butler covering. Anthony right side. There's the killer two-handed slam.
Well, that time he got a pretty clear run to the hoop.
It was Clark, and he took full advantage of it.
And not just with any old finish. I mean, that was a big-time dunk.
Getting back to what Steve said about Dirk, with his height, Clark, that elbow shot is virtually impossible to guard.
We call it ATM time. Cash. Because when he gets it there, nobody can bother him. And he also can go by you. He's unorthodox, but he can still, because you have to respect that shot, he has the option to drive as well, but he's a remarkable, remarkable shooter.
Chalmers' shot is no good.
Just 1 of 4 now to start this third quarter.
Kidd kicks to Butler. Here's Chandler, and he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a three-point play.
You know, they're just getting hammered inside and really need to find a way to be tougher down there. They got to be physical. They got to man up in there.
I agree. I mean, you look at the points they're giving up, most of them seem to be coming inside the paint.
He can't complete the three-point play.
You know, when you talk to people around the Mavs, prior to last season, they had a choice as to whether to acquire Al Jefferson or Tyson Chandler, and they chose Chandler, and they're happy about it.
He continues to do everything well out there.
You know what? And it's really hard, based on that, to determine what he's done best so far.
Tyson Chandler had a very big impact on the Mavericks defensively. In fact, Steve, they said he was the soul of that team.
I thought Tyson Chandler completely changed the culture in Dallas. I mean, they were a decent defensive team without him, but with him, they were one of the best in the league. He clogged the lane, he rotated, he protected his teammates, and he gave them a toughness, kind of a swagger at the defensive end of the floor that they didn't have before.
Releases from 15, and the shot is good from Nowitzki. Nowitzki's got 11.
They are just lighting him up from mid-range area.
You know, sometimes we forget about the value of the mid-range or in-between game. This team has made 8 of their last 10 with that shot, the in-between shot.
Timeout called the Heat.
Well, the big story, of course, a year ago for Miami was the formation of the big three, LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. And although it took some time for those three to click, eventually they figured it out.
Catching up on the changes for Dallas. Brendan Haywood, he's checked in for Chandler. And it's Terry in for Rudy Fernandez. Here's Bosh. Kicks it to House. And the ball goes out of bounds. It's turned over. Steve, back to what you said about Miami. They struggled out of the gate. They were 9-8, but after a rough November, they kicked it on in December. And Clark, I think really the game that kind of spun them around was their first LeBron appearance in Cleveland in early December against the Kings.
Yeah, that was an impressive win. I recall that. That was almost like an NBA Finals type atmosphere in terms of the media attention and so forth. But in that month, they went 15-1 and really seemed to find their rhythm and, quite honestly, never looked back.
He dishes it to Wade. From down low, hits the back iron and falls. Wade's got 4 points now in the quarter.
Boy, I love the way they've been attacking inside, Kevin.
All right, guys, they're getting a lot of points in the painted area, not settling for outside shots, and I don't see any reason to change strategy here.
Here is House. Wade against Terry. Again, Dwayne Wade. Wade's got 8 points.
His touch has looked much better than it did in the first half.
There's the dish to Kidd. Terry outside. Off the mark there with the three-point shot. Knocks it loose. The Heat making a switch here. Haslam's checked in. Mavericks leading by 5. Terry kicks to Kidd. From deep. It's rebounded by Bosh.
Boy, that was way behind the line. Now, he can make that at times.
He certainly is one of the guys that can actually do it from there. Quite the interesting season for Chris Bosh last year. I mean, obviously more team success than he really enjoyed in Toronto, but individually, his numbers dropped a bit. I don't think it bothered him, though. He wanted to win.
Sean Marion is checked in for Caron Butler. .105 left here in the third quarter. And again, it's the Heat missing. Well, talking about Bosch's numbers from last season, Steve, his rebounding and his field goal percentage did drop off from the year before.
Well, and his shooting percentages last year were really in line or even above his career numbers. So I thought Bosch had a good season. It just took him some time to kind of adjust to playing with his new team and a new style. But ultimately, Bosch made a big impact down there.
Fellas, it's no secret that Dallas isn't afraid to spend or go into the luxury tax. But in their march to get better, they haven't been very careful with the contracts they've given out.
He misses the free throw. Back to what you said about the Mavs, it seems they can't find the right center to fit them, and they keep giving out dubious contracts. And Steve, you know as well as anybody being in the front office, and Clark, you too at the Pacers. I mean, it's 50-50 a lot of times.
Yeah.
You just don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, you got to manage those acorns.
Steve?
Yeah, the personnel decisions are always difficult, especially when it comes to big money deals. But I thought Tyson Chandler really solidified that center position for Dallas last year.
Wade against Terry. He gathers. Wade gets the bucket. Wade's got 10 points.
Carving them up inside there, Kevin. I mean, the defense has been vulnerable in there.
Yeah, that's 3 straight field goals in the paint area. That's really good offense. And winding down, they're going to go for the last shot here of the quarter.
Yeah, I like the recognition there. They're going to play for the last shot, just as you said.
Poke loose.
Great defensive work right there. The quick hands lead to the turnover.
That's good. 7 points for Jason Kidd. Good if it goes. James can't get it to go. And that does it for the third quarter. Both teams clicking offensively as we approach the fourth quarter. Dirk Nowitzki having a dominant impact in this game.
Well, we know he can score, so it's not really a huge shock to see him put up these kind of big numbers.
And I would think that he most likely will continue to carry on this kind of play into the fourth.
And we'll be back momentarily live from Dallas. Now let's check in with Doris Burke for our Sprite Spark of the Game. Doris?
Thanks, Kevin. It's the Mavericks with the spark of the game with that big push we saw. They continue to add to their advantage as nothing has been able to throw them off their game. This has been an eye-popping performance by them.
Terrific stuff, Doris. Thank you. That was quite a run they had, Clark.
Yeah, I tell you what, Kevin, scoring bursts like that often tell the story, really. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
And that's been the case today. I mean, that's what you'd have to point to, I think, is the defining moment in this ballgame.
A moment now to reset the lineups. Brought to us by Gatorade. All fueled up here for the fourth quarter. On the floor for Miami, Haslam's out there with Joel Anthony. Then it's LeBron James. Then it's Mike Miller. And it's Chalmers in at the point guard position. Here's Chalmers. LeBron James on the wing, defended by Butler. That one goes. Count it. Haslam's got the first points up on the board here in the fourth for the Heat. And Terry up top, covered by Miller. Tries it from the top of the key. Beauty. Good on that. 9 points for Jason Terry. And here is LeBron. Got a piece of it. And stolen by Butler. All alone. The big dunk at the end of the break.
Defense wasn't able to get back fast enough to contest.
Well, they were caught flat-footed after committing the turnover that time, guys.
Here's Chalmers. And the Heat call time here.
They don't seem to have any answers for him. They need to review their game plan and look for a way to cool him off. You knew the big three when they came together, guys, that they would be good. But they did a pretty decent job, I thought, of finding complementary players to fill out the roster after a big chunk of the salaries went to the big three.
Both teams will make substitutions. And now Doris Burke has an update from the sideline.
Guys, over that last break, I listened to Eric Spoelstra address his team. He said to them, I don't care what the scoreboard says right now. This game is ours for the taking as long as we make every possession count. He's trying to keep their focus right where it needs to be, guys.
Great. Thanks for the report, Doris. Haslam, that's good. Well, back to the Heat, and Clark, you're right. They searched out vets that knew how to fill a hole and a need and really build a team around the stars.
Well, and that's critical because anytime you have the core group together, it's about finding role players who are going to accept their responsibilities on the team and accept the fact that sometimes they're not going to see the minutes that they would otherwise like. But they handled it well. They got a good roster around their stars, and it paid off.
Mavericks leading by 6. Easy shot, and it's Dallas with another.
I think their only hope now, Clark, is to slow them down with a double team.
Well, they got to stop the bleeding, put the tourniquet on, and he's been tough to play straight up.
Now, here's Chalmers, guarded by Berea. No good with the triple. Balanced scoring, Clark and Steve, for them. They're moving it well.
Yeah, you love to see teams share the sugar. Everybody getting a touch, everybody enjoying an opportunity to score. That makes it a lot of fun for everybody on the court.
You know, it sounds better when you say it than watching it. Okay? I like better when you say it. Sharing the sugar. Right, Steve?
Pass the cream, too. I mean, while you're at it. I mean, this has been something to watch. I mean, just everybody getting involved.
You know what? How the Mavericks take it the other way. Miller gets whistled for blocking. That is his first foul of the game.
It's such a tough call to make as a ref, but I think he got it right. The defender was not set.
Yeah, I thought he was leaning as well, Steve.
Catching up on the changes with Miami. Ilgauskas is checked in for Bosch. Juwan Howard comes in for Udonis Haslem. And it's LeBron in for Mike Miller. And stolen by Chalmers.
He did what he could to try to handle that pass, but that was too hard to handle.
Didn't take long to get that hoop.
Guys, they sure made the D look slow that time.
From 17 feet out, it's Butler that time on the assist by Kidd. Kidd's got 4 assists in the game. Timeout called the Heat.
They've been committing a lot of turnovers, and I imagine that's exactly what they're talking about right now. They need to tighten it up.
And making a change here, the Mavericks. Terry's checked in. And then for Miami, Chris Bosch is checked in for Ilgauskas. That's Haslem in for Juwan Howard. Here's Chalmers. Butler against LeBron. Haslem against Nowitzki. And again, it's the Heat missing.
He worked himself into a really good position there, right near the basket. That's the look he wanted.
That is good. And it's a 10-point Maverick lead. Not a lot of time left in this one for the Heat. Trailing by 10. Here's Chalmers. Book it. We've got 1:28 left in the fourth quarter of this one. Haslem against Nowitzki. The shot, no good. And Miami will go the other way with the ball. Now, here's Chalmers. And the pass to Bosch. Dishes it to Haslem. Over Chandler. Here's Bosch. And their work on the board pays off with the second chance points.
Crashing the offensive glass is such a big part of this game, and it's going to pay off for them.
Less than 1 minute left. Chandler, the pass to Terry. From deep three-point range, Wade with the defensive effort.
I like the defense, guys, really getting a hand up and challenging shots.
Yeah, Steve, lurking on that shot, and that was a tough one.
Nowitzki with the steal, and so they foul intentionally. 36 seconds left in the fourth quarter. They grab their own miss. And they're going to count the bucket and send him to the line. It could be a three-point play.
Third team foul. Shooting for Dallas.
And he completes the three-point play.
Huge free throws there, Kevin. He just put this game out of reach.
Timeout called, the Heat. They're trailing by 9. 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, your thoughts?
Now they're going to attack the rim, try to get a quick shot, and then foul immediately. It probably will be too little, too late.
Yeah, I agree. It's a major long shot, but we've seen stranger things happen, Steve.
Here's LeBron. Over Nowitzki. Offensive rebound. Here's Haslam, and the layup falls.
He makes the most of his chances on the offensive glass, doesn't he?
It's stolen by Wade. Over Chandler. Buries it. Oh, and that cuts the lead to just 5.
A nice piece of work there. Find a little space and pull the trigger.
And Dallas has possession. They've led by as much as 10. And an intentional foul right there.
That's his first personal foul. Fourth team foul.
And he misses the first one. Does make the second, and that increases their lead to 6. And the Heat call time here. They're behind by 6. 17 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, what's your take?
I think they have to go for a 3 right now, don't you, Clark?
Yeah, I don't think they have any choice but to go for the 3, Steve.
Ball's knocked loose. Nowitzki with the steal.
And that is a foolish mistake right there, guys.
You know, I don't think you can just have that happen. I mean, it's something that you just can't allow if you're going to play good basketball, if you're going to play winning basketball.
Now, here's Chalmers. Pass to LeBron. Haslam. Lots of room. And it's a little long.
An easy look there, but, you know, he misses those once in a while.
So we see the Mavericks get the win here. Both teams played well, but these guys had the edge.
Yeah, I think so. They were just steak knife sharp. Very on top of their game here.
Well said. Thank you for joining us for this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark, Stephen Doris, and the rest of the crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Last but not least, here is your Jordan Player of the Game, Dirk Nowitzki.